I'm going to introduce TinkerCAD and using a breadboard. Firstly, we need to log on to TinkerCAD. TinkerCAD is an Autodesk product and we need to use our Autodesk login. So we've already set up student accounts through Fusion 360. It'll be the same as that. Once you're logged in, you can click the circuit part because we're going to start with electronics. I'm using the introduction to the breadboard. You won't have this, but if you would like to play, you can open a new document and pull one of these breadboards in. I've turned mine just onto its side using the turn feature, but I'm going to start showing you the breadboard in this orientation. So breadboard's really simple. Sometimes it takes a while to get your head around it though. All these numbers, so each row is connected underneath. So think about maybe like a live wire underneath each one of these sections, but then they're not connected down between the numbers. So it's only the letters, the rows that are connected. There is a break in between. So this side here is not connected to this side, and there's also a whole line. Sometimes there's a break in the middle, but generally a full line on each side, which is our power and our ground. We can use this wire feature to connect anything we want to. So if we were going to run a wire between there and there, we can do that. We can change the colors and we can move the points around. We don't need that wire at this stage though. Okay, what do we do with our project? I'm going to orientate my board upright again. Oops, I have to do a full lap now. And we are going to move it to where you can see it. Now I'm going to drag a battery in, and the battery is going to be connected to the two rows along the side. So try and do this as neatly as possible. I'm going to make that one red because that's our power or positive. This one here is our ground, negative. So I'll make that black. Be logical with your color coding. Now if I add an LED to that, so at the moment the anode, which is the positive, is on the ground line and the cathode is on the power. So I want to spin that around. And we wouldn't normally put components straight into the power and ground. We'd normally put them in here, but let's see what happens when we make this circuit live by starting the simulation. That starts the power running through the circuit. You'll see that this one explodes. So you can see just here, I can hover over it, it says the current is 915 milliamps, while the absolute maximum is 20 milliamps. So I'll stop that simulation, and what can we do to reduce the amount of current that goes through our LED? We need to put a resistor in line with it. So I'm going to move this guy around like this. I'm going to put it in. Let's go up a little bit more so we can see this. Let's go to the anode. So I always remember anode starts with an A. What do you want for your assignments? An A+. So the anode is the positive, A+. Cathode, it's the other one. Let's go to a resistor. So I've just pulled that over. We're going to call this resistor 330. You'll see that it will turn orange, brown. And I need to go to the ohm symbol. And I'm going to rotate it. So I'm going to put this one on the positive, so the anode, and I'm going to run a wire from the negative to any one of those dots in the line with the cathode, and I'm going to go black just to make sure we can see it. Let's start that simulation and see what happens. So we can see there's an exclamation mark there. So our orange, brown, so 330 is still a little bit letting too much current through. So we could change that down to say 300. And the 300 is actually gone opposite because I've reduced the resistance. So it's letting more current through. So let's think about it in the opposite way. Say we'll go to 400, and you can see that warning has come off. So that's an appropriate resistor for this little circuit if we're using a 9-volt battery. We will probably use a different type of battery. I should have thought about that before, so we could pull in here a set of different types of batteries. Battery count, say 3. So now we've got 1.5 and 1.5 is 3, plus another 1.5 is 4 volts. So let's see what happens if we change this over. So bring this one over onto here and over. We'll delay down 9 volts. So now we're running off 4.5 volts. Let's see what that does if we change this one back to a 330. Start the simulation, and you can see the LED is lighting up. So it's very crucial to put very important to put that resistor in, because you will physically just burn out the LED if you don't, and if you burn out the LED, it's just ready for the bin. So when we're breadboarding, we normally turn this over so it's sitting straight like that, and that will allow us to drag in components a little bit quicker because they're orientated that way. As you pull them in, it makes it a little bit easier to put your components in. So what I've done now is added the Arduino Uno. This course is going to be about creating circuits using the Arduino, so we'll need to sometime get it started. What I've just done here is I've added a 5-volt line to our project, and we're going to follow through and also do a ground. So now if I start the simulation, you can see the plug plugs in and the LED lights up. So we've just basically connected 5 volt, which is the USB power, and it's just automatically powering up. So anything that you connect to your breadboard with a battery will light up just as we're going along. You can see that this L light on the board is flashing, so it's blinking on and off about every second. Why is it doing that? So if I open my code up here, you can see that the code that has started in TinkerCAD has already got a few blocks here. So it's saying set built-in LED to high, wait 1 second, set built-in LED to low, wait 1 second, and then it will repeat that cycle. So I've stopped the simulation, and I'm going to put a lead here from pin 13 over and then down to the line where this LED is sitting. So I've got some options here. I'm going to click it here, and I'm going to make it red. What I'll do is I'm going to actually move this up just to that line so we can utilize this break here. We're going to pull the the resistor up so it bridges over the gap, and we're going to bring the LED down. So you can see that it's all in the same line, but it bridges over the gap, and then our cathode comes back to the ground line. This time nothing is happening with this one here because there's nothing connected to it. We could actually delete that power line there, and what we've just done is connected one of the output pins to the resistor and then to the anode, and then the circuit is complete through the cathode coming back to the ground. Now I know pin 13 is actually connected to the onboard LED. So if I start this simulation now, you can see it getting plugged in. It will start blinking this LED at the same pace as the onboard LED. Okay, so I'm going to stop that simulation, and what do we need to do if we're going to put a different LED here? So, sorry, I didn't explain that too well. Let's do this first. So if we want to change this to a different pace. We can change, say, wait 3 seconds while it's on and wait 1 second while it's off, and we'll start that simulation. And you can see it stays on much longer, and then it will blink off and stay on much longer again. So we're going to add another pin or another function. I'm going to bring that over and come randomly onto my breadboard. So I'm coming out of pin 7 and straight across to here. It doesn't matter, it can be any of these lines. Then I'm going to get a LED, so I need to go back and put my LED kind of a similar place to in line with this. I'm going to change it to a different color. I'll try yellow this time. I might change this one to blue. And then we need the resistor. So we can either pull that resistor over, or we can right click and duplicate this one. No, we can't, sorry. And I'm going to put that resistor there. We need it 330 ohms, just like the other one. Check the colors have come up correctly, and then we're going to put the cathode across to this one. So you can see while I looked at that, I don't have my alignment quite right. We need to move this one over one. So that's right. Now what we need to do is look at our code now. So this is the code that was already here. So we want to set the inbuilt LED, which is pin 13, that's active to that pin. We want to look at this pin 7 now. So as an output, we're going to go set pin 7 to high. Then as a control, we're going to wait 1 second. Then we are going to set pin 7 to low. And as a control, we will wait again. So as the order is here, it will, if this one's slightly above, it will start with that one. If it's slightly below, it will start with the other one. Got 1 second, we've got that. Let's start the simulation, see what happens. So it's going to start setting this one as high, waiting 1 second, setting this one as low, wait 1 second, and then continue. So you can see it alternating between the LEDs here. You have a play with the time setting and just see if you can add maybe a couple more LEDs to get used to the idea of controlling the Arduino through the output pins. The other thing that you could have a look at quickly is stop the simulation and view your code as blocks plus text. So you can see what's going on here. We'll talk about the text code a little bit more later. But we've got a setup, so that's setting our different pin outputs, and we've got the void loop, which is doing our setting to high, delaying, setting to low, delaying, and then moving forward to doing the same. So it's the same as what you can see in the blocks. If I change the order of that, you can see it changes the order of the text as well.